Imagine looking out your window and seeing hundreds of people dancing in the street, not because they were celebrating, not because they were drunk, but because they literally couldn't stop. Some danced for days, some collapsed from exhaustion, and some danced until they died. This wasn't a legend. It happened in 1518, and nobody knows why. The outbreak began in the city of Strasbourg during the summer of 1518. One morning, a woman walked into the street and began dancing. Historical records identify her as Frau Trophäa. There was no music, no celebration, no festival. She simply started dancing. At first, people barely paid attention, but hours passed, then an entire day, and she was still dancing. Witnesses claimed she continued for days, exhausted, barely sleeping, barely eating, yet somehow still moving. Then something even stranger happened. Others began dancing too. What started with a single woman quickly became something much bigger. Within days, dozens of people had joined her. Within weeks, there were hundreds. The streets filled with exhausted dancers. Some staggered forward with barely enough energy to stand. Others screamed in pain. Many desperately wanted to stop. But according to reports, they couldn't. The city authorities were completely baffled. No one knew what was causing it, yet the number of dancers kept growing. Then officials made a decision that sounds unbelievable today. They believed the dancers needed to dance the sickness out of their bodies. So instead of stopping them, they encouraged it. Stages were built, musicians were hired, public dancing was organized. The cure was supposed to be more dancing. Instead, things got worse. As the days passed, the physical toll became impossible to ignore. People collapsed from exhaustion. Some suffered heart failure. Others reportedly died from strokes or extreme fatigue. Imagine being trapped inside your own body, knowing you need to stop, wanting to stop, but somehow being unable to. Witnesses described dancers with swollen feet and bodies pushed beyond their limits. Fear spread throughout the city. This was no longer a bizarre curiosity. It had become deadly, and nobody knew how to stop it. Then, almost as suddenly as it had begun, the outbreak faded. The dancers stopped. Life slowly returned to normal. But the mystery remained. For more than 5 centuries, historians have debated what really happened. One theory is mass hysteria. At the time, Strasbourg was facing famine, disease, and extreme hardship. Some researchers believe the stress became so overwhelming that it triggered a psychological outbreak. Others believe contaminated grain may have played a role, but neither explanation fully answers every question. How did hundreds of people suddenly begin dancing? Why did it spread from person to person? And why did it eventually stop? The truth is that nobody knows. History is filled with wars, disasters, and deadly epidemics. But few events are as strange as the dancing plague of 1518, a time when hundreds of people danced through the streets for days, and some may have danced themselves to death. More than 500 years later, it remains one of history's strangest mysteries.